All right, what up, guys? It's January 14th, 2025. Happy New Year. Hope everyone had a good holiday season. We're back to making videos. And so I wanted to just dive into a quick summary of everything that's going on right now, including we'll go to the back part of the lot and go through everything happening back there. So I know this is mainly a Saab channel, but 2003 6.0 Power Stroke Ford Excursion. We did an H-pop, which is a diesel side H-pop. You can see it in some of our shorts. That grenaded, basically got it warranted, put it in, so now that has a new H-pop in it. But we're now fighting injector issues. Super fun. It has a little skip when you're at like 10 pounds of boost. It's kind of a hop, if you will, kind of a chug. I don't know how better to describe it, but everything I've read is pointing to injectors. So I need to do the test. I believe it's with the manifolds off where you, or excuse me, the valve covers off, where you laser temperature gun each injector and record the values for like 10 to 15 minutes and diagnose which injectors are having issues. But I did do a buzz test, but I didn't do it when it was cold. So we will proceed. Our next step is to do the buzz test, the injector buzz test when it's cold. But now let's get to the fun stuff. So the Saabs. This is the $1,200 Turbo X 6-speed that I got from Utah that we put the drive shaft in. I was able to pick up some 5-spoke Aero wheels that had 2 tires. I ordered 2 more tires off United Tire to match the set, and this has been my daily driver, which has been interesting. The F40 is running, or is working okay. A few weeks ago I was having really bad shifts, like almost impossible to get it into gear when it was started cold. So that was really interesting. But now it's like I let it sit for a few weeks and all of a sudden it's working great. So next step, I want to get this tinted. I'll show you guys. I just got some SunTech film and a Vevor 53-inch vinyl cutter plotter, which is super cool. So we can cut actually our own tint templates. So that'll be a future video, getting this thing tinted. I got 5 for all the surrounding windows and rear window, and then 20 for the windshield. So that's the next step on this guy. This car, I do want to service the F40, get some new fluid and maybe some accessories, short shift. But that's how she's looking. Get it tinted for daily driving. This is the automatic Turbo X 2008. Wheels are super dirty, but this is the car I bought from a dealership up in Seattle, had it shipped down. And we recently found out that one of the, actually cylinder 2, has about 50 psi of compression, so most likely big issue there. So I actually posted on a couple of the groups, the 28 Alliance and 28 Alliance, and we were tracking down. It was throwing a cylinder 2 misfire code, and then it would throw a general misfire code. So we started looking at that. We did obviously the injector, we did the spark plug, tried the coil, swapping those out to see if there's any difference. And then after those, we figured, oh, well, it might be the ECU. So I waited, ordered a law cell cable, ordered a Tech 2, all this diagnostic tools and such that I thought I'd need to figure out the ECU or swap the ECU, because I have a donor ECU that's front wheel drive. Long story short, we swapped the ECU and it did not change. So unfortunately, that was not our issue. And then we ended up doing what I should have done a long time ago, which is a simple compression test right when I got the car. And sure enough, cylinder 2, I'll put the video in now, is like 55 psi compression, and cylinder 4 and 6 are 155 plus where they should be. So this is getting most likely a head gasket because it's burning coolant as well, and that was another telltale sign. So I haven't fully diagnosed it yet, but it's leaning towards head gasket at this moment. So that's that project. This 2.8 motor was actually out of the wagon that we have in the back, that they were separated a while ago by some other people before we ended up buying this as a donor engine, not knowing that it was out of that wagon, which is Justin's project in the back, which I'll show you in a sec. But this is what we call Derek Lewis. This is a 2003 Saab 9-3 ARC that you will very shortly see the engine getting pulled out of. We just had to get a new long ram jack from Harbor Freight for this old monstrosity of an engine hoist that we picked up off Marketplace for $100 against Justin's better judgment, but I couldn't help myself, so got that POS. we are pulling the engine out of this guy. And then this is the 2.0, the infamous 2.0 build that you're all following. And we have all the other parts, turbo, new map sensors, the GM Stage 1 map sensors, wastegate, ton of goodies for this thing that I will lay out in the next video when you see this thing getting pulled out. We're also working on a boost gauge, which has been kicking our ass. So if you have any recommendations on boost gauge wiring, that's a Pro Sport gauge. Working on that. And that has the F40 as well. That's why it's #racecar. Has a summary on Derek Lewis. So let me take you out back now and show you the rest of the cars. Exert. All right. This is the wagon that I was just telling you about. The donor engine that we have in the garage is actually from this car. Little did we know at the time, but Justin bought this shell only with no engine in it, which I'll show you in a sec. He has also, and it was an automatic, it's 2006 Aero, but if you'll notice, he's been doing a little work to it. And you can see right here, sorry for lighting, that is a 6-speed F40 manual transmission, and those are 3 pedals down there instead of 2. So he's working on shifting this over to a manual instead of an automatic, which is super cool. And I'll show you right now, no engine in it. So sorry, the engine from this, or that'll go in here, is coming from this car right here. This is what we're just calling the donor car, because it is a 2.8, but it's had a little rough life. Been spray painted a few times, pretty messed up, pretty crusty. The whole trunk kind of in pieces, in shambles. So anyway, we're pulling a ton of knickknacks off this car, mainly the engine and the automatic transmission. It's got the white guts, which is pretty sick. Justin's already pulled the stick out of here, and then pull a couple things off. Might make use of that steering wheel before we're eventually gonna, I think, take the car to the junkyard. But after we basically scrap everything we can, subframes, etc. But this is the engine that he'll be pulling shortly once we get the engine hoist opened up, mostly disconnected, almost ready to go. 1 tranny mount, 1 motor mount, and that'll be done. So that's exciting. This is Justin's daily 2.0. We got another friend working on another Saab here. I don't even know what year this is. I think it's an 04 linear. It's got an aero lip, but a couple other things. So that is the current status of the Saab inventory and a little walkthrough of everything. If you guys are into bikes, but just picked up horrible. Throw a video in Ducati for a little fun. But anyway, thanks for watching. That's the status. We also picked this thing up. I don't know if you guys are into kind of novelty stuff, but Phantom Menace Episode 1 Star Wars original Dixie Norco vending machine. I'd be doing it a disservice if I didn't put on video. So appreciate y'all watching, and thanks for following along the builds. Let's get it rocking. Thanks.